Your blood type didn't just appear by chance, it survived. Across thousands of years, humans faced pandemics, parasites, famine, and migration into entirely new environments. Entire populations were exposed to different diseases, and not everyone responded the same way. Some blood types made a survival slightly more likely, and over time, those small biological differences shaped global distribution patterns that still exist today. That means your blood type may reflect ancient selective pressures, infections your ancestors endured, environments they adapted to, even dietary shifts that changed immune behavior. But here's the part most people never consider. The same antigen that protects against one disease can increase vulnerability to another. The same trait that lowers clotting risk can raise bleeding risk. Every blood type carries a biological advantage and a biological compromise, which makes one question unavoidable. If your blood type shaped survival in the past, what is it quietly influencing in your body right now? Let's start with the one nearly 40% of the world carries, type O. Type O is the most common blood type in the world. Nearly 4 out of every 10 people carry it. At first glance, that might make it seem ordinary, but biologically, it's anything like that. One of the most overlooked advantages of type O lies in how its red blood cells are structured. Unlike other blood types, type O lacks A and B antigens on the surface of its cells. This small absence creates a surprisingly powerful effect. Certain dangerous pathogens, including the parasite responsible for severe malaria, have a harder time causing red blood cells to clump together in type O individuals. And that clumping is one of the mechanisms that makes infections more severe. In evolutionary terms, this may have given type O populations a survival edge in regions where infectious diseases were widespread. But that's only part of the story. Type O is also uniquely important in emergency medicine. Because of its antigen profile, O blood can be used in critical situations when there's no time to determine a patient's exact type. In life or death scenarios, hospitals often rely on it first, which quietly makes type O one of the most medically valuable blood types on Earth. And there's another subtle biological trait that researchers continue to study. People with type O blood tend to have lower levels of certain clotting factors, including von Willebrand factor, a protein involved in blood coagulation. This may reduce the likelihood of dangerous blood clots and certain cardiovascular complications compared to non-O blood types, a hidden protective effect. But like most evolutionary advantages, it comes with a trade-off. The same exposed cell structure that provides certain protections can also make type O individuals more vulnerable to specific infections, such as severe cholera and norovirus. In other words, type O isn't simply better or worse. It's biologically specialized. And while it became the most common blood type globally, its widespread presence may not be an accident of genetics. It may be the result of survival. Another blood type seems to have adapted under a completely different kind of pressure, not isolation, but proximity. As humans transitioned from hunter-gatherer lifestyles to agriculture, populations began living closer together than ever before. Shared food, domesticated animals, and dense settlements created entirely new patterns of bacterial exposure. And under these conditions, immune response became more critical than raw survival resilience. Unlike type O, type A blood carries A antigens on the surface of its red blood cells, microscopic markers that directly interact with the immune system. Some evolutionary researchers suggest these antigens may have offered a subtle advantage in environments where bacterial infections spread more easily through close human contact, which could help explain why type A became more prevalent in regions shaped by long agricultural histories and structured societies. But like most biological adaptations, this advantage was not absolute, because the same antigen profile linked to stronger immune reactivity is also associated in modern research with higher levels of certain clotting factors compared to type O. A quiet evolutionary trade-off, a circulatory system that may clot more efficiently when needed. In earlier human environments, efficient clotting could mean faster wound survival and better recovery from injury. But in modern contexts, where lifestyle-related cardiovascular conditions are more common, that same trait may contribute to a different health sensitivity profile, not inherently better, not inherently worse, but biologically specialized. If type O reflects adaptation to high pathogen survival environments, type A may reflect adaptation to the rise of civilization itself. But the evolutionary pattern doesn't stop there. Type B is different. Unlike O or A, it doesn't follow the same global pattern. Its distribution is concentrated in specific regions, particularly parts of Asia and the Middle East. But why? Researchers believe that type B evolved under unique environmental pressures, a mix of diet, pathogen exposure, and migration pattern. Its antigens may have helped certain populations resist infections that were common in these regions, while subtly shaping metabolism and digestion. Some studies even suggest that type B carriers process carbohydrates and fats differently, a silent adaptation that influenced nutrition and survival over centuries. And here's the part most people overlook. While these traits provided advantages, they also created hidden vulnerabilities. Certain bacteria and viruses may target type B more easily, making it a perfect example of evolution's delicate balance. Protection in one scenario, risk in another. Type B is a biological paradox, rare in some areas, dominant in others, and just when you think the story is complete, the rarest of all blood types enters the stage, type AB. Globally, only a small percentage of people carry it, making it biologically uncommon from the start. But its rarity is only part of what makes it fascinating, because type AB is the only blood type that carries both A and B antigens on the surface of its red blood cells, a biological combination, two distinct antigen systems merged into one. This unique structure creates one of the most well-known medical advantages in transfusion science. Individuals with type AB can receive red blood cells from any of the main blood types, A, B, AB, or O, without the same compatibility limitations faced by others. In emergency medicine, this makes type AB one of the most adaptable recipient profiles, but medically flexibility is only the surface-level story. From an evolutionary perspective, type AB is believed to be the youngest major blood type, emerging thousands of years after the widespread distribution of types A and B. Because carrying both A and B antigens means the immune system is exposed to a broader range of antigen signals at the cellular level. Not stronger, not weaker, but more complex in how it recognizes foreign cells and pathogens. However, like every blood type we've explored, this complexity includes trade-offs. Some modern research has associated non-O blood types, including AB, with higher levels of certain clotting factors compared to type O. Type AB represents something no other blood type does, a living genetic record of population mixing, migration, and the merging of human lineages over thousands of years. And when viewed alongside O, A, and B, a deeper pattern begins to emerge, because none of these blood types appear to be random. They appear to be adaptive, shaped quietly by disease, environment, migration, and survival pressures long before modern medicine ever existed. Type O reflects a survival in high pathogen environments. Type A mirrors adaptation to dense agricultural societies. Type B suggests regional evolutionary tuning shaped by migration, diet, and environmental pressures. And type AB represents the biological merging of human lineages over time. Each carries subtle advantages. Each carries trade-offs, not better, not worse, but specialized. And while modern medicine mostly treats blood type as a tool for transfusions, the deeper story is evolutionary. Because these microscopic antigens have quietly interacted with diseases, environments, and survival pressures for thousands of years, long before modern healthcare ever existed. which means your blood type is not just a medical label, it is a biological trace of human history, shaped by pandemics, migration, diet, and environmental exposure across generations. Because evolution rarely disappears, it accumulates, and sometimes it leaves its fingerprints in the places we think about the least. Before you go, the video on your screen reveals another hidden truth about the human body. Tap it now to keep learning something most people never discover. And subscribe to the channel for more science explained simply.